Okay, everyone, so welcome back. Today's topic for Realty Central is contracts. We need to get you to understand contracts in an effort to pass that real estate exam. So here we go. Contracts is a very important part of real estate because essentially that is how we initiate the process of transferring property from one entity to the next. We start with a contract. Let's talk about the parts of a valid contract. So first, with the contract, you must have offer and acceptance. That means that an offer has to be made by one party or entity and then accepted by the other party. If there is no offer and acceptance, you definitely won't have a contract. If we move on to the next part that makes a contract valid, we would look at consideration. Consideration is anything of value that induces those parties to contractually perform that contract. So, if we had to talk about the most common form of consideration we see, that would be earnest money. Most times with contracts, buyers put down earnest money to entice the seller to take their contract, and also as a showing of good faith to make sure that they will perform and handle everything needed to make it through the contract. Now, earnest money is not the only form of consideration, but it's one that we most commonly use. Consideration in a contract could be the exchange of a boat or a car, or it could be all of my love if you consider my love to be valuable. But remember, consideration has to be a part of the contract for it to be valid. Next, we'll talk about consent. There has to be a meeting of the minds for there to be a contract. No one's being forced into this. Everyone is going into it willingly. So consent is a very essential part of a legal binding contract. Next, we'll have legal capacity. We want to make sure that there are competent parties that are parties to the contract. We want to make sure that legally everybody is able to go into this contract as an individual capable of making this choice. And then lastly, when we talk about valid items of a contract, we certainly want to make sure that we are putting this contract together for a legal purpose. So, in looking at the valid components of a contract, I want to make sure that you are clear that for a contract to be valid, you have to have offer and acceptance, a consent, which is a meeting of the minds, consideration. It has to be for a legal purpose, and we want to make sure that all parties have legal capacity. Thanks for popping in today for our small talk on contracts. Tune in next time for our next topic. Let's go past that real estate exam.